Evening. I'm Johnny Green, your MC for tonight. I've travelled the world with rock and roll bands. In my case, it was The Clash. I've seen the delirious nature on the faces of people listening to rock and roll music. But equally, I've seen that pensive, thoughtful look on the faces of people listening to poetry. It's rare to see a combination of both listening to one particular act. And that particular act that I'm referring to, Dr. John Cooper Clarke.
Evening, folks. Thanks for showing out this evening. Welcome to Dr. John Cooper Clarke at the BBC. The subject of tonight's show, Twisted Romance. I got the title from a 1957 movie, and it was I Married a Monster from Outer Space. And I was, yeah, thanks. You heard of this one, yeah? In retrospect, you know, it paints a grim picture of marriage in general. And I'll level with you. My marital career has been long and largely pointless. Until now, I wear the band and I couldn't be happier. Thanks for asking. But it wasn't always the case. Somebody once said that a wedding is a funeral where you can smell your own flowers. Well, that's a harsh judgment in my book. I prefer to see it as a sexual relationship that is recognised by the police. But it didn't work out for me on my wedding day. I should have known it wouldn't work out on my wedding day when the registrar said, "Do you take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife, etc.?" I said, "Would you?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, what are you trying to palm her off on?" As is often the case, a failed marriage led to a successful divorce. We split the house. I got the outside. It was at that point where I made a promise to myself. I said, I'm not going to get married again. I'm just going to find a woman I don't like and give her everything. Time, however, has a corrosive effect upon the male resolve in matters of the heart. And I elected to get married again, much to the chagrin of my more occult-minded friends. They bombarded me with advice against it. You can't go ahead with this, Johnny. We've looked at your birth charts. It's doomed from the start. Are you crazy? Are you mad? I was dismissive of it, of course. I didn't get to be a doctor by believing in any old kind of mumbo-jumbo. Voodoo and birth charts and shit, you know. I mean, crikey, I'm a child of the Enlightenment. So I went ahead with it. I got married. I wish I hadn't been so dismissive now, because they were absolutely right. It didn't work out. And so I said, all right, let's have a look at the birth charts then. You see, I'm an Aquarius and she's an arsehole. It's never going to work out, astrologically. Anyway, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. I could have been married to a monster from outer space and all of the social problems that might throw up. So see what you think. This one's 1,000 years old. It's called I Married a Monster from Outer Space. Goes like this. The Milky Way, she shifts around, all 3 feet firmly off the ground. 2 worlds collide, 2 worlds collide. Here comes the future bride. Give me a lift to the lunar base. I want to marry a monster from outer space. I fell in love with an alien being whose skin was jelly, whose teeth were green, big bug eyes, death ray glare, feet like flippers and cubic hair. I was over the moon, I asked her back to my place. And then I married the monster from outer space. The days were numbered, the nights were spent in a rent-free furnished oxygen tent. A cyborg chef serves up cuisine, the colour of which I've never seen. I needed nutrition to keep up the pace when I married the monster from outer space. We walked out, tentacle in hand. You could sense these earth mothers would not understand when they got on the bus. They said it's extraterrestrial, not one of us. It's bad enough with another race, but fuck me, a monster from outer space. A cybernetic fit of rage. She pissed off to another age. She lives in 1999 with a new... Actually, let me read that again, right, for editing purposes. The reason being that 1999 was years ago. And this is set in the future. So you can see the stylistic problems that might throw up. You got to think on your feet in this business. A cybernetic fit of rage. She pissed off to another age. She lives beyond recorded time. With a new boyfriend, a blob of slime. Each time I see a translucent face, I remember the monster from outer space. Sticking with the subjects of twisted romance, schlocko, horror, drive-in style, I'm going to return to that world of Reynold Brown and the creature from the Black Lagoon, from whence came the monster from outer space. Attack of the 50-foot woman. I've got bad eyesight, so whenever it's on the TV, on Film 4 usually, in the afternoon, early doors, where they show all the best movies, very often it comes up, except I always read it as Attack of the Soft Woman. And then in brackets it says horror. And I'm at a loss to see the horror of it. Sounds like a bachelor's dream come true. Attack of the Soft Woman. I'm always doing that, reading things wrong in the paper. I've got bad eyesight. There was a programme on years ago, one of those reality shows about what goes on in a morgue. And it was called The Coroner. Except I always read it as The Crooner. And I'd be watching it nonplussed week after week. When's he going to stop cutting up that cadaver and give us a song? But it was Ainsley's big cookout. That's when I got on the phone to the police. Attack of the 50-foot woman. You must have seen the poster. It's in all the pop art books. It's this fabulous-looking Yvette, and she's standing astride a Maple Leaf Highway intersection just outside of Las Vegas. She's got a bus in her hand with people falling out of it, and guys crashing cars in between her ankles, where they're like, you know, not looking where they're going. The reason she got like that, and this is, check it out in Halliwell's. The Halliwell's synopsis goes like this. A neurotic woman enters a disused spacecraft where she is affected by radioactivity. And as any scientist will tell you, if that had happened to a bloke, he would have been conferred with superpowers. But in a woman, it results in a 50-fold increase in body mass. Don't look for justice in this world, ladies. You cannot fight the laws of physics. So here's the poem about it. And this one's called, spookily enough, Attack of the 50-foot woman. Her molecules got magnified, her faintest whisper amplified, takes the highway in her stride. She's a little on the large side, Attack of the 50-foot woman. Feeling vaguely discontent with all the spleen that's fit to vent, dressed in a circus tent, her irritation overspent to an almost biblical extent. Attack of the 50-foot woman. She's a radioactive predatory flirt with a figure made to disconcert. Mess with her, you're gonna get hurt. Lapsed Catholics reconvert. Attack of the 50-foot woman. Who needs some overgrown chick stomping on their block? Mad, bad, sad, sick. How's the antidote coming on, Doc? Sports cars for roller skates. She straps them on whenever she's late. She's too big to appreciate. She'd be better off back in the States. She needs her own space. Let's face it, Attack of the 50-foot woman. Blacking out the afternoon, she lends an air of ominous gloom. Was it something we said or a phase of the moon? Anyway, we ain't got the room. Attack of the 50-foot woman. Attack of the 50-foot woman. Please remain alert. Don't be driving down the outside lane, peeking up her tent oblique skirt. Attempts to reach her only stiff. Tried gold, flattery, top dollar gifts in a vain attempt to heal this rift. Still she seems a little bit miffed. Attack of the 50-foot woman. What's the army doing? Nada. Totally trashed the state of Nevada. Pissed all over the National Guard. Attack of the 50-foot woman. How come nobody's seeing her coming? Thank you. Never done this one before in public. How many people get that from an audience? It was deafening. Deafening. Avocado Vignette. Avocado. Is that what it is? Clean eating. Delia Smith don't even wash lettuces. What a pig. Here it is, Avocado Vignette. Their gripes give way to bravado. They got a rat for a pet. The house is all avocado. All avocado vignettes. Avocado walls and floors. Avocado slates. Behind those avocado doors, what crackpot actually owns this place? The bride was a bruiser from Broughton, abroad with her brains in her bra. The groom was straight from Stradorton, with a skateboard instead of a car. Wedding a shed in Prestatyn. Since then it's been sex on command. In the language of dirty dog Latin, she knew like the back of his hand. He had an eternal erection. With abstinence had he no truck. She couldn't sell sex from affection, and both of them fertile as fuck. They had about 28 children, with names nobody can spell. Everybody's tried to kill them, the knockabout neighbours from hell. There's a cask of Amontillado, laced with prescription amphet, in that house that's all avocado. All avocado vignettes. We're coming to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. The old enemy on the wall, breathing down our neck once again. Thank God, not all romance is twisted, ladies and gentlemen. And to prove it, here's one I wrote directly from my heart to the woman I love. And this one's called I Wanna Be Yours. Thanks for listening. Let me be your vacuum cleaner, breathing in your dust. Let me be your Morris Marina, I will never rust. If you like your coffee hot, let me be your coffee pot, you call the shots. I want to be yours, let me be your raincoat for those frequent rainy days. Let me be that dream boat when you want to sail away. Let me be your teddy bear, take me with you anywhere, I don't care. I want to be yours, let me be your electric meter, I will never run out. Let me be the electric heater you get pneumonia without. Let me be that setting lotion that grips your skull with deep devotion, deep's the deep Atlantic Ocean. That's how deep is my devotion. Deep, 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 deep. I don't want to be hers, I want to be yours. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me, Dr. John Cooper Clarke at the BBC. Thank you for coming. Thank you. You have been listening to or have just missed Dr. John Cooper Clarke at the BBC. The show was written and performed by me, Dr. John Cooper Clarke. Your MC was Johnny Green, and the producer was Joe Nunnery. It was a BBC Studios production.